This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Brew at the Zoo, Discover the Edge, Touch a Truck, National Suit Drive, and National Night Out.
Hey friends, I'm here with my friends from the Topeka Zoo, Debbie and Fawn, and they're here to tell us all about Brew at the Zoo, which is happening Saturday, July 11th. Debbie, tell us about this event.
Brew at the Zoo is an all-adult party for ages 21 and over. It's a night for them to come out and just enjoy a fun night at the zoo. We have beer tasting. We're going to have food truck vendors. We have some competitive inflatables for adults to do.
Oh, like obstacle course stuff?
Obstacle courses, yeah. Lots of fun.
I didn't know I was going to have to train for this.
It's an awesome night. It's one of our Friends of the Zoo fundraisers that we have every July. And this year we're expecting about 1,500 people.
Ooh, that's a large number of folks to come out for this. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Fawn, in prepping for this thing, what do you have to do to prep for it? Do you have to do a lot of research on the beer?
I don't actually, but Debbie actually has been contacting breweries from different states as well as mainly in Kansas, and then contacting them to see if they would like to participate.
Okay, so we're going to tell people it's Saturday, June 11th.
July 11th.
I'm sorry, July 11th, June 11th. Well, that would be done already, so I'm glad we didn't miss it, that's for sure. But it's 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to be great. Do people need to sign up for this in advance, or can they just show up? How does that work?
They can actually register online at topekazoo.org. The tickets are $40 per person. So if you want, they can call in to our gift shop at 272-7595. We'll be glad to set them up.
Okay, so you have some food there too, right?
We do. This year we're doing something different, and we're actually having food truck vendors.
That's very cool. Now, they had the food truck festival, the first ever one over there in Gage Park. Did you guys just feel an influx of people in the area?
Actually, on the way driving out the parking lot to go home, it was difficult to get out of the parking lot. That's my feeling of it.
That was great.
Yeah, it was very, very busy.
A first-time event that was so successful, and it's cool that you guys are going to have the food trucks at this event as well. I think people are really having a lot of fun with that.
I think so too.
And you're going to give people a lot of beer. You're giving them some really awesome food to go along with it, which is great. So that's
and we'll
good.
have some entertainment, some music entertainment. And we'll have a brew store where we will sell a lot of the brew items, such as our t-shirts. We have growlers, we have koozies, and lots of other things.
Excellent. Well,
Don't forget your beer arena.
Oh yes, we have a beer arena, which we're going to have a mechanical bowl.
Beer arena and a mechanical. Okay, wait. What is this now?
It's our brew arena, and it's actually going to be a mechanical bowl. So it's something new that we're going to try this year. So we'll see how it goes.
That's no bowl. That is,
no bowl.
Yeah, right. But it is bowl because there will be a bowl and beer, so that's ought to be just really interesting. Yeah, and something you don't typically get to do at the zoo very often, which is very cool. Get out there, July 11th. Get your tickets at topekazoo.org and have a great time. You're going to love it. I'm going to love it. We're all going to love it, and we're going to enjoy the zoo together with a lot of beer. So, Debbie, Fawn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Folks, don't go away. We have plenty more coming up right after this. Hey, have you ever wanted to toss your boss off of a tall building? Well, we have an opportunity for you to do that. Or if you just want to, rappel off of a building yourself, the Kansas Children's Discovery Center is presenting Discover the Edge. We have Chris Rogers here and Jennifer Getz here to tell us all about it. Chris, what is this thing?
Discover the Edge is all about raising necessary and needed funds for the Kansas Children's Discovery Center. It'll be September 4th and 5th. We're really excited about a very unique event coming to downtown Topeka where you can toss your boss off the West Star building or rappel. Very safe off the building, but raising funds for the Kansas Children's Discovery Center.
Very good. And Jennifer, how do people find out about this information and sign up for this thing if they want to do it?
It's super easy. All you have to do is go to discovertheedge.org, and all of the sign-up information is already available there, plus the information about the fact that you don't need experience rappelling to give this a shot, how you can incorporate different ways to fundraise personally or at your office. And it's a very easy way to raise a little money for the KCDC and do something pretty cool.
What a great event. It helps a great cause. It's very unique, certainly nothing like I've seen at all. And it's happening at the same time that Touch a Truck is happening in downtown Topeka. So you've got a whole wonderful weekend of events and fun happening in downtown Topeka. A great way to help out the Kansas Children's Discovery Center. It is Discover the Edge. Find out all about it at discovertheedge.org. Joining us here in the Talk About Topeka studios, of course, the one and only Vince Fry from Downtown Topeka Incorporated. Lots of fantastic things happening downtown. Always new stuff to talk about when you come in here. How you doing, Vince?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good, very good.
I appreciate it. Doing great.
Well, we have the first Friday Art Walk coming up. Now, there's a little something we need to note about this Art Walk.
This is true. You know, First Friday Art Walks are always on the first Friday of the month. Mm-hmm. This month of July happens to be the 3rd, which is fine, but a lot of people might be involved in 4th of July activities. So the Art Walk itself has decided to move the following week to the 10th. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you're going to go out your usual first Friday and try to check all the great locations around town, you won't find them.
So put that on there because it's
right.
the 4th of July, so there's a lot of things going on that weekend as well, so we want to make sure people get that down there. And speaking of that weekend, the concert series that we have downtown, that is still happening.
We decided we're going to go right ahead with our first Friday concert. So on July 3rd, as usual, we'll have a concert right out on 8th Street with Aaron Cam and the One Drops. Mm-hmm. People might remember that name because they were here last year and they're backed by popular demand. They're from St. Louis, they're a reggae band and have a big following. And so we're going to go right ahead and have ours on the first Friday like we always do. It starts at 8 o'clock and it should be a great evening.
I love that setup out there. Beautiful music right in front of the Capitol building. You can't go wrong with that. So everybody needs to get that on the calendar.
Great location.
And we have Touch a Truck coming up downtown.
Well, that's right. And you know, we started that to kind of get people excited about seeing trucks and construction downtown. And it turned into a huge, huge event with several thousand people, a lot of kids coming and climbing on the trucks and tooting the horns and blowing the sirens, and it's just a great event. So that's on the 29th, which is going to be here before we know it.
And what's awesome about that, you have the kids climbing on the trucks. This year, you're going to have adults climbing on the buildings, which is pretty cool as well.
That's right. It's Over the Edge, which is a fundraiser for the Children's Discovery Center, and people can rappel down the side of West Star, which I'm excited for this to happen. I have a problem with heights. I'm not sure that I'm going to be up there, but it's a fundraiser, and so hopefully a lot of people will rappel down the side of West Star that same weekend as Touch a Truck. Mm-hmm.
I talked with Jennifer Getz and Chris Rogers from the Discovery Center about that, and they were all very excited. They're planning on jumping off.
Oh, I know they would be, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is going to be...
And it's not jumping off, it's rappelling.
I like to say, let's add it for a little bit of, you know, a little bit more dramatic flair to it.
Yeah, so it's really, really neat. So much will be happening that day, and it's great that West Star has stepped up and allowed that to happen at their building. They're really great corporate partners.
It's going to be great to see that and Touch a Truck going on, so that's something definitely have to bring those kids out to see all that, because as a kid from my heart here, I just want to watch them jump. I don't want to jump off the building myself, but you know.
Well, they'll start early in the morning.
Rappel, as we say.
Yeah. And they can do up to 70, I believe, a day, and awesome. So it'll all happen on that Saturday. And the people that operate these trucks are so informative and want to show it to the kids, and in some cases let them actually, you know, do some of these things with the machinery, and it's really a fun day.
Well, we have plenty of things happening in downtown Topeka. Of course, you can find a full listing at downtowntopekainc.com. So check it out and make sure you have all this stuff on your calendar, because you're not going to want to miss it. They keep adding so many spectacular events to the downtown lineup. This place is really turning into a party place.
We want it to be a destination location, and we have plenty of events that I think everybody will enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, we're having a great time here in downtown Topeka, so you should come out and join us. And that's when you're not listening here on the radio or watching the TV show. Of course, that should be your first priority every time with Talk About Topeka. Of course, thank you so much, Vince Fry, for coming by and telling us all about it. Joining us here in the Talk About Topeka studio is Lazone Grays with IBSA. How are you, Lazone?
I'm fine, Chris.
Hey,
how are you?
Glad to have you here. We ran into each other at 712 Innovations. You're a member down there?
Yes.
I'm a new member down there.
Excellent.
Very good to run into you, and you were telling me all about this stuff that you're working on. And I'm like, well, this guy needs to be on the show because we've got some cool things going on here. No, IBSA, give us the elevator speech about the organization.
Well, IBSA is a nonprofit organization, tax exempt. We've been located downtown for going on 22 years, 629 Southeast Quincy. We have been a service provider, training provider to the low-income population, working with single moms going back to work, non-custodial fathers looking for work, getting into training, and working with youth, primarily first-time juvenile offenders, teaching them technology skills, office clerical skills, soft skills.
Absolutely, and one of the pieces you have here is Project Care. Tell us a little bit about this.
It provides low-income individuals who are going to work who don't have reliable phone service with a local number. It's a partnership that we struck with Google probably about 6 years ago, and because if you are forced to look for so many jobs a week and you don't have a phone number to put on an application, this is one of the alternatives that we have been able to provide. And so we provide that with not just individuals who are receiving cash assistance, but any low-income individual that's seeking employment.
And so this is really spectacular because, make note of this, because what if you're trying to look for a job? What if you don't have a phone number?
Yes.
How do they contact you? This is a problem that most people don't ever consider because they always have a phone number.
Yes.
It's a hurdle that in order to get that job, you need this.
Yes.
So you guys are providing that link right there.
Yes, we are. And I think that's a misunderstanding that even though we have now the age of cheap cell phones and pay by the minute, a lot of times people's minutes run out before the end of the month. And so we provide this service here to try to encourage them to use it. This is a number that will not run out. It's confidential. It'll always be going. And it's not like Google Voice where you can get it via email, but it's reliable that people can call, leave a message. It's actually just like a voice machine.
That's very cool. And another piece that you guys have, another project, the Men's Wearhouse Suit Drive. Now that's another piece. You need a job somewhere.
Yes.
You don't have the clothes to go in and impress the employer. You're going to need something for that. Yes. You want to go in and get that job. You want to improve your place in life. You guys are helping people get that first step.
Yes.
So tell us about the suit drive.
Well, just like Google, when I see opportunity or things that are going on in other places, I'll pick up the phone and call and say, hey, can we do that where we are at? And I came across the Men's Wearhouse. They were having a national suit drive, and they said, sure. The program focuses on low-income men that are going back to work for interviews. On an annual basis during the month here, people are asked to donate gently used professional clothing, whether that's suits, ties, shoes. And then the Men's Wearhouse, they also provide some new suits. We have new suits, we have gently used suits.
Awesome. So how does that work if people are out there and they're like, I'm in need here. So what do they do?
Well, normally we work with agencies that are working with men that are in job training or job seeking programs. Therefore, we can make sure that we're getting the suits to the people who are really putting in their best foot. They're putting in their best effort. So that may be also a probation or parole officer. It may be someone that I can know personally. But we have agencies that we have worked with, such as the Shawnee County Community Corrections, there was Kansas Legal Services, and there's a couple of other agencies that already know that we exist. And when they graduate from their program or they need a suit, they'll refer them to us, and then we'll suit them up.
Well, that's very cool. The suit drive is happening June 22nd through the 31st. Now, what do people need to know about that? To just bring the suits over to Men's Wearhouse, or how's that work?
Yes. Do not bring them to our office at 629 Southeast Quincy. Take them to the Men's Wearhouse. They will make sure that they're cleaned and bagged up, and then they also do some inventory. And when you donate the suits and take them to the Men's Wearhouse, you'll also receive a discount on any future purchases.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's wonderful how that works. And Men's Wearhouse is, of course, at 1920 Southwest Wanamaker. It's Suite 100 over there. And this is a really great program, I think. Spectacular. Can people find out about it online here?
Yes.
Okay. What's the best way for them to look for more information here?
Well, they can go to nationalsuitdrive.com, I believe that's the web address, and find out more about the program, and they can also go and find other places. It's not just in Topeka. There's outlets nationwide. They work primarily with nonprofit organizations that are doing exactly the same type of work that we do.
Well, this is a great program, and bless you guys for going in there and just taking these pieces, put them together, and making them available to people.
That's how we make better communities.
That's absolutely correct. That's the Lazone Grays with IBSA, and I really think that you guys are onto some cool stuff here. This is really great, and so many people have suits that are just sitting in there clogging up the closets. Maybe they need to get them out.
Yes,
maybe they go get a new suit each year or something, and maybe they need to do something with the other one. Well, this is a great opportunity. June 22nd through July 31st, so you have plenty of time to get in there and drop those suits off at Men's Wearhouse. And if you're interested in the phone system here, the Project Care, you can what's the best way to contact your office again?
913-735-4272.
All right, and that's a pretty simple way to do it. So if you need some of those services, they'll be happy to help you out. If you want to help them out, can people just give you money?
Yes, we are a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. We always accept contributions and donations. And
very good. So most people don't say no to that. That's good. They take the money, so get them some money so they can continue to do this stuff as well. So if you got money, do you need volunteers for anything?
We periodically need volunteers. We'll never turn down volunteers, just like we won't turn down donations and contributions.
Excellent. I like to put that out
and
there
really,
too.
really young people. We want to get young people into volunteerism, teaching them some office skills, teaching them some technology skills. I just recently had a young boy who was 14 years old who didn't know how to tie a tie. Before he left finishing his community service, he could tie a tie with his eyes closed.
Yep, that's pretty awesome. Those are the little things right there. And before someone needs to go out and get a job, volunteering, the best way to teach somebody how to be responsible. So many different opportunities around the community. Even if you don't choose IBSA, there are so many opportunities for volunteer work. Parents should really encourage their youth to get in and do some stuff because it's going to make them more well-rounded and again move the community forward. Right?
Yes.
That's what we're doing. Well, that's IBSA, and we're hoping you'll drop off your suits at Men's Wearhouse. Thank you so much, Lazone Grays, for joining us here today. Joining me here in the Talk About Topeka studio is Carrie Renner. She's throwing a neighborhood night out party with her neighbors here for Safe Streets. How are you, Carrie?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Okay,
a little warm.
You're with, yeah, it is. It's been that way. Yeah. And now we do have, and hopefully it's a beautiful evening out for that. Coming up on August 8th, National Night Out with Safe Streets here. Your neighborhood participates with that in the Westwood neighborhood. So tell us a little bit about the involvement that you got involved with here.
Sure. Yeah. We moved into our neighborhood in the summer of 2010. So I think it was in June, and I'd been hearing about National Night Out Against Crime for a while. I knew that Safe Streets had done it. I knew some folks at Safe Streets. So I guess on a whim, I just thought, well, maybe I will go to a meeting and see what it's about. And I had already done a neighborhood community watch thing at where we had worked at before, where I lived before. And so, and I wanted to establish one in this neighborhood as well. So I went to one of the planning meetings, and it seemed like it was something that was doable. So that was the first year that I did it, and then I just went door to door and took flyers around, and it was a really great way to meet people in our neighborhood. And we had a pretty good turnout that first year. I was really excited. We kind of live on a street that Y's off, and so we probably got about 20 people that maybe came that first year. So it was.
So which year was that?
In 2010.
2010 is your first year you did it?
Yeah.
You've done it every year since?
Every year since.
Oh, and I keep thinking, hooked on this now.
Yeah, I keep thinking, I don't have time to do this. And it doesn't really take a lot of time. I just think, well, maybe I should hand over the reins to somebody else. But my husband said, you have to do it. It's like tradition now. And my next door neighbor is like, oh, Keri, you have to do it. And the second year, I decided to try and do a theme for it. And so I was trying to think of, well, Westwood, what could we do? So I came up with, it's Westwood, not Eastwood, and so I got some Clint Eastwood posters.
Oh, I like it.
Like Dirty Harry.
I was thinking Wild Wild Westwood or something like that.
Well, that could be a good one too. I was trying to come up with some other ones, but
that's a good one though.
And I was trying to find Dirty Harry posters, and I was kind of surprised at how expensive they were. But anyway,
it was
kind of fun.
Make my day and come to our party.
Yeah, well, and it was good because we had the one, where we had the gun, and so it was kind of like, if you're a criminal, you don't want to come to our neighborhood. So.
Okay, so it's 2010 when you started this, and now we're still doing this here. You're enjoying the process. What do you think, maybe, has there been any kind of evolution in your neighborhood because of this? You know?
Well, when we first moved in, shortly before we moved in, we had heard from the other neighbors that there had been some crime incidents in our neighborhood. And it was, home break-ins during the day, somebody, backing their truck up and, taking off with people's stuff.
Up, yeah.
And, there's a lot of people in our neighborhood that have alarm systems, but there's also a lot of people in our neighborhood that are home during the day. So, and in fact, we even have one neighbor that works nights. So there's kind of a nice mix, but I think that because we do this every year, and we have neighborhood watch meetings every so often, that it really does kind of create a camaraderie, and that we're looking out for each other. And that was my primary goal, because I know that Safe Streets has said it over and over again. I mean, the best thing that you can have is, a neighbor that helps you watch your house. And
boy, it makes a heck of a difference.
Oh, yeah. And so, we all, if somebody's leaving for vacation, we try to let the other neighbors know that watch out for our stuff, or they get our mail, or and we all have each other's phone numbers. I know that we've left our garage door open before, and hopefully we've had somebody give us a call, or I know that I've tried to help out with neighbors that if there's a suspicious car or something in the neighborhood. Because we have a neighbor that has a vending business, and so I saw a strange car parked out in front of his house, and he was like, "Yeah, thanks for letting me know." So, there's things like that I think it's been well worth it, and we've gotten a lot of positive response to having a neighborhood watch group and participating in National Night Out, which is great.
Now, what do you think about how it was for organizing these events? You said kind of your first time was like, oh, this is a lot of work, but then, you think they made the process pretty simple?
Oh, yeah. Safe Streets has it down to a fine-tooth comb, really. And it's nice because when you come to the organizer meetings, everybody shares ideas, they share resources, and of course we're all looking to do this, as less expensive as we can. So it's really nice that we do have the sponsorships. I cannot thank the Topeka Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and the DA's office enough for the money that they donate for this. But to try and find sponsors, and I'm friends with Peggy and Mark Murnahan at Mount Eliza's, and they've always been really gracious to provide cupcakes for our event, or a gift certificate. I know that Target has been a sponsor for quite a while, and they provide our bottled water they have for the last couple of years. And so what I am trying to do is engage some of the businesses that are around our neighborhood, because we know that those are the people that we're going to be going there anyway. So it would be good advertising, or to kind of help, and even invite them if they want to come. And I've done that before. If they want to show up and kind of hang out with us, more the merrier. That's fine with us. So
excellent. Well, I wish you the best of luck with your event, and I thank you for coming on, telling us all about it, as we get folks interested about celebrating the National Night Out, which is August 8th here in Topeka. If you're in Keri's neighborhood, well, she'd love to have you come by, but there may be something going on in your neighborhood, and chances are there are over 60, I don't have the exact number right now because they keep going up, but there are over 60 different parties going on in the community on that night, so you can really check in with your neighbors and find out everything that they have going on. Safe Streets has a great list of places that have those events going. Of course, if you're interested in having one and there isn't one in your neighborhood, they'll help you get started with that as well. So they made it really easy, right?
Yes, definitely.
There we go.
Call Judy or call Christy, and they'll get you set up. So.
They'll get you taken care of. Well, thank you very much. That's Carrie Renner with the Westwood neighborhood. There's one at Westboro too. You can check that one out on the Safe Streets website. But thank you so much for coming and telling us all about this. And thanks for organizing this. It takes it takes a village. Every little thing we can do helps to move it forward.
Well, I love Topeka, and it's a labor of love. So
absolutely, well, you're in the right place to celebrate it here. Thank you so much, Keri.
Yeah.